welcome everyone to this episode of the Legacy Queen podcast. I'm Angela Sandas, your host, virtual event sales consultant. And with me today, I actually have the amazing queen, Amy Porterfield, founder, New York Times bestselling author of 2 Weeks Notice, and the host of the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. Welcome, Amy. So excited to have you here.
Thank you, Angela. I'm so happy to be here.
Can you share? I know that most people know who you are, but can you kind of quickly share a little bit about your story and what you do?
Yes, I always say I am an ex-corporate girl turned accidental entrepreneur. I never really had big hopes of being my own boss or becoming an entrepreneur. I thought I would be in a 9 to 5 corporate job for life, climbing that corporate ladder. However, I found myself at my very last 9 to 5 job. I work for Tony Robbins. I got to travel the world and work on the content that he does on stage, like Unleash the Power Within, Date with Destiny. If you know Tony, you know those events. And I got to do some amazing things. However, Tony teaches entrepreneurship, and I was surrounded by other people building businesses online. And I started to think, could I ever do that? And what I wanted more than anything was freedom. I wanted to work when I wanted, where I wanted, how I wanted to work. And I didn't know if that was possible, but I thought I got to give it a shot. So when I was in my very early 30s, I decided to go out on my own and start my own business. And it was very, very rocky in the beginning. Things did not work out as planned, but I stuck with it. And 14 years later, I've generated over $85 million in digital course sales. I've helped over 50,000 students with building their businesses and courses online. And I'm really, really proud of the work that we've been able to do to allow more people to have that kind of freedom. And so that's what I do today. I help people take their knowledge, know-how, and skill set and turn that into a profitable digital course that they could use inside their business or use to start a business.
That is amazing, and it's really inspirational story. And I think a lot of us can recognize ourselves. It's a bumpy road. Okay.
It's a bumpy road. It is.
So I'm so happy to have you here. And what I wanted to talk about, so the topic today is going to be about what it actually looks like to create a profitable digital course in 2023, now heading into 2024, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I picked this topic, and I believe that you can share so much value around it, is that how the market has kind of changed the last couple of years or 2, 3 years. And anyone can go online, put up a bio, claim to be an expert, and sell and do anything, right? And with that comes a lot of noise, but also a lot of opportunities, which means there is almost overabundance of opportunities out there that almost kind of spiral our kind of businesses out of control. We almost stumble on ourselves, right? We don't know what to focus on, and a lot of tactics and stuff like that. So I really wanted to have you as the expert and look into course creation now for the rest of 2023 and also 24, because you have been in the market for a long time and I guess you have seen it all. So I wanted to kind of start with the topic that is really hot, and that is AI, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people kind of claim you can create courses of AI. How do you see, what is your kind of intake on AI when it comes to, first of all, can they replace digital courses?
I love this question. So, first, I want to say that I am a huge fan and supporter of AI, and we use it in my business in every single department, from customer experience to community to operations to marketing to content creation, of course. So, we use AI a lot in our business. Do I believe it will replace digital courses? Not 1 ounce of my being believes that. And here's why. AI is such an incredible assistant, a technology to assist you in making sure that you never get stuck in terms of creating content, brainstorming ideas, coming up with titles, subtitles, subject lines. There's so many benefits of AI. The research, absolutely. But to think that people are going to get their knowledge from AI only it is void of personality. It is void of nuances, grit, experiences, stories of real life people who have gone before you. The beauty of a digital course is that you are learning from someone who's been in the trenches. They know those nuances, those challenges, those roadblocks. They know how to get past them. Whether you're learning how to feed your picky toddler or learning how to save your marriage, learning from somebody who has been in the trenches and has helped themselves or other people get those results, it's an entirely different experience. So AI is void of that heart and compassion and empathy, which is why you use AI as an assistant, but you don't use it as your end all be all. So the industry of digital courses and e-learning is billions and billions of dollars, only getting bigger every single year. So it's not going to replace digital course learning, but it will enhance it for the digital course educators who are creating courses. You will never have to look at a blank Google Doc again and think, I don't know what to add to this course. I can't think of extra lessons or modules. That's where it's going to be your ultimate course creation assistant.
I love that input. And I think a lot of people kind of are a little bit scared that AI is going to kind of take over. But at the end of the day, there is no personal connection. And people, money comes from people, right? People buy
Yes.
from people, and AI can kind of never replace that. But it's amazing that you can use it to support the course creation journey, because a lot
Yes.
of people are scared when it comes to creating courses, right?
Right.
And
There's a lot that goes into creating a digital course. So that trepidation of actually getting started, AI can help you get started for sure.
that is amazing. And if we also go back to, if we look at the kind of the noise in the market, what have happened in the market, do you think that course creators now and in the future need more skill set around marketing and sales to become successful in course creation?
I think that you absolutely need a roadmap to learn and understand and implement how to launch and market your course. Do I think you need to be an expert? Do I think you need to have more time understanding marketing before you launch your course? Not particularly, and here's why. I obviously teach people how to do this. And so when I teach people how to create their course and launch their course, I give them a roadmap step by step. Here's how you write the emails. Here's how you grow your email list. Here's how you do social to sell a course. Here's how you do a webinar, slide by slide by slide. I give my students the framework, the roadmap of everything they need to do to market and launch their course. So, as long as you're learning from somebody who's gone before you that will teach you exactly how they've done it, then that's what you need. You don't need years more of education. You don't need to go back to school to get your college degree. You don't need certifications. You just need to learn from someone who's willing to give you their roadmap and tell you exactly what to do and what order to do it in, so that you're not wondering, how do I get started? Or what do I do next? Or in what order do I do this? Learn from someone who's willing to give you their roadmap, whether it be me or somebody else. That's what you need.
And learn from someone that have done it before
Yeah,
and have a
exactly.
success track record, right? So how do
That's
you stay?
why, oh, I'm so sorry. I was going to say
Yeah,
that's why I'm not a big fan of hunting and pecking all over the
yeah,
web and YouTube to learn how to do something that can make you a lot of money. You might be learning from someone who literally has zero results.
yeah.
They just see a money grab and they're going to like, I'm going to teach this on YouTube. Make sure that whoever you learn from has a proven track record.
I couldn't agree more. And I mean, we have no entry level on online space today. Anyone with a phone can actually put up a
Right.
bio and do whatever they want, right? You just need a
Right.
phone. So there is no entry level. And so when you look at all the trends, so a lot of things happen really, really fast right now in the market. There is consistent evolving of the market. How do you keep kind of your strategies effective and kind of relevant? What kind of works now and doesn't work now?
You know, things have changed over the 14 years that I've been creating and launching and teaching digital courses. But I will say that one of my secrets to success is that I don't quickly jump on trends. And I find what works. And I'm kind of like a dog with a bone. I just get fixated on this worked, let me make it better versus looking for a new thing to do here or there. I think my secret to success has been that I stay in my lane. I continue to do what I set out to do, which is teach people how to create courses. And I'm always looking for ways to get better, but I'm not looking for that flash in the pan kind of new trend that I could jump on. So here's an example. I've been using webinars to launch my courses and teach my students how to do the same for many, many, many years. And there might be a narrative online, webinars are dead. And I could show you thousands of examples how that is not true, because a webinar allows you to give great value for free, show your teaching style, show your personality, really bring people in and create that loyalty because you're delivering on what you promised in the webinar. And then it gives you an opportunity to transition easily into selling. If you love this and you want to take the next step with me, here's your opportunity. And that's when you get to talk about your course. That has been the pillar of selling digital courses for me and my students for many, many years. And it works just as well today, if not better, than it did 10 years ago. Because today you get to add more video, more engagement. There's a lot of technology you can add to it to make it even more exciting. So for me, I build off what's already working versus trying to jump into some new thing just because everybody else is. So that has been my secret. But I will tell you this, there's little things that have changed along the way. Years ago, I used to always do Facebook Lives during a launch to talk about my course and to get people on my webinars and all of that. For me and so many of my students, Facebook Live is dead. Not everybody, but for a lot of us. So now we're starting to look at new ways to deliver live video. In fact, I do a lot of my live public video on Zoom. I invite people to a Zoom room because now people are so used to Zoom, they get on it every day. So it's like no big deal to go over to Zoom. Years ago, that would have been very weird. But when you're on Zoom, you're less distracted because you're not looking at all the Facebook feeds that are going by you. So it's little nuances like that I don't think you'll learn that stuff in AI. You'll learn it from someone who's done it, made the mistakes, had challenges, and shares those with you. That's why learning in a digital course is so much richer and valuable than just learning through AI.
I love that about webinars as well, because we teach virtual events. That is what we do in my business, webinars, 3-day workshop, 5-day challenges. And I always say that people that tell you webinars are dead, they don't use webinars. That
Exactly.
is, they have never mastered the art of speak and sell, right? And of course, it doesn't work because you need to be committed to actually want to do it in the first place.
You're so right. I 100% agree.
So I just love that.
So
And
the next
so,
time someone tells you webinars are dead, ask them, how many webinars have you done and
yeah,
what was your conversion rate? Because I can tell you they probably haven't done any or their conversion rate is very low. So
so,
yeah, just a little sassiness there, but it's such a great point.
yeah. And we actually also moved into Zoom. And one thing that I love about why we use virtual event is the human connection. So when we also moved away from using the Facebook feed into see people, is just kind of that connection, that
Yes.
personal, no AI or nothing can replace that, right?
Yes, that's how I feel 100%.
So in my audience, we have actually different kind of people. We have people that are totally new and might want to create a course for the very first time, but also a lot of people that already run coaching business and kind of want to think about maybe adding a course to elevate the way they serve their clients. How do you kind of see digital courses as an asset for both of these groups? Can you share a little bit around that?
Yeah, name those two groups again for me.
Yeah, we have people that want to enter the online space by launching their first
Got it.
digital course, but I also have a huge audience that already run successful businesses and might think about, could I add a course to serve my clients even better?
Yes. Okay. Let's start with that group. Can I add a course to serve my clients even
Yeah,
better and also add an additional stream of revenue? This is where I get really excited because a lot of my students already have really great businesses. Like, for example, one of my students, Adia, she's a psychologist and she meets with her patients one on one in an office. She's really good at what she does. She makes a lot of money doing it, and she's got a full list of clients. However, she also wanted to have an additional stream of revenue in her business. She was going to have a baby, and so being able to be on maternity leave while still making money is a big deal. And also, she had some topics that she wanted to drill down into that she couldn't necessarily do just one on one. So she built a digital course all about self worth. And she really got into the different tools and resources and frameworks around feeling worthy. And so she created this digital course, made over $26,000 with one launch, very first launch she's ever done, while also still having her practice. Now she's got two streams of revenue. And if she decides for a while not to take one-on-one clients, she still has an additional way for money to come in. That's a big deal. We all know what happened during COVID, where we weren't able to be in the same room with each other. And so the people that had digital courses, 2020, our businesses were thriving more than anything because we had that security net. That was the best year ever for digital courses. So there's something to be said about having an additional stream of revenue to protect yourself, but also give you a break when or if you ever need it. In addition, those that do not have a business yet, I love using a digital course as a way to launch your business because you get to skip the trading time for dollars, which usually a lot of my students come to me because they are in a time for dollar kind of situation where if they're not showing up, they're not making money, and they want to actually leave that behind. Or some of my students don't have a business yet, but they don't want to go down that road. They want a one-to-many business model. And that's what a digital course does for you. I want to talk real quickly about some of the benefits of a digital course, just to kind of expand your horizon. If you're thinking about creating a course, it's not just the money you can make, and we can talk about some course math. It's not just the money, but also when you have a digital course on the market about a very specific topic, people know what you are about and how you will serve. And so now you start getting invites to podcasts, to speak on stages, opportunities you never had before, because that digital course puts you on the map. If you ask anyone, do you know anyone who can help me create a digital course? Usually my name is in the top 3. And the reason for that is I have launched a course on courses year after year after year. The model I teach for digital courses is you create one digital course and you launch it over and over again, so you don't have to keep starting from scratch. The number one way to slow you down in business growth is always reinventing the wheel, always starting new. A digital course, you just make better every time you launch it. You don't have to start new. So that's one of the benefits of starting your business with a digital course. You have an asset that can make you money over and over again.
I love that as well, and not to start over, because I so strongly believe that every time we start over, we go a little bit backwards before we go move forwards, right? Which means if we're always starting over, we are actually standing still or even reversing in our growth. Right?
Yes.
So I love that we can we just repeat, rinse and repeat all the time, right?
Yes.
So, but when it comes to creating courses, and this, I think, me, for an example, when I started to create my program or courses, there is a lot of mindset blocks that comes up, right? A lot of mindset blocks. In the beginning, it might be, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, imposter syndrome, it's complicated, and all these kind of things. What are the kind of common kind of objections that people have that you kind of see that kind of prevents them from moving forward?
One of the objections I see coming up, or excuses or fears really, is that I'm not right for a digital course. My business isn't right for a digital course. My industry won't work with a digital course. And I have so many examples to bust that myth. But one thing that's important to remember is to ask yourself, why am I so against exploring this? And usually it's fear, like you said, imposter syndrome. Who am I to be teaching this? I'm not the expert of all experts, or I don't have certification in this, or extra education. So the first thing I want to say is you do not need extra time, extra certification, extra education. You already know something that other people want to know. We call it the 10% edge. As long as you've gotten results for yourself or for somebody else, and you're willing to map out how you got those results and teach how to get those results, then you have a digital course in you. People like to learn from others who have been in the trenches and who are maybe just a few steps ahead of them, but are very relatable. Let me give you an example. One of my students, she's in the service-based industry. A lot of people who have a service like web designer or a nutritionist that goes into homes and does meal planning or something like that, they think they can't have a course because what they do is one-on-one in someone's home or with somebody. Not true. One of my students went into people's homes and she built gardens for them. So she would build kitchen gardens with all the herbs and the lettuce and the veggies. She would actually physically build their gardens for them. And then she realized, I am one woman with multiple kids in a family. I do not have time for this. So she created a digital course teaching people how to create their own gardens. And it exploded, huge success. And then from there, she decided to certify other people so that they could actually learn how to do this and go out and help other people. She is making millions of dollars. She was a service-based business who created a digital course and then created a certification. What a great combination. So don't allow yourself to believe the narrative that my industry isn't right, I'm not right, my business isn't right. Another one that I hear a lot is right now, only high ticket offers are selling.
Yeah.
Couldn't be farther from the truth. I have thousands of students who have courses that are $250, $500 that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with their digital courses. And so it's always about understanding what your audience needs and meeting those needs. So I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough education. They are all excuses. And I say that very lovingly because it's fear. We all have fears that what if I create this course and nobody buys it? Real quick, my very first course launch, I made a whopping $267. I thought I was going to make $100,000. I had worked for Tony Robbins. I had helped him launch his own courses. I thought, I know what I'm doing here. I didn't. Doing it on your own is a whole different ballgame. And I didn't have a roadmap to follow like I teach my students how to do it. And so I made $267 and I made it mean that I wasn't cut out to be a course creator. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at marketing. I shouldn't be doing this. Luckily, I have a really wonderful husband that said, those are all lies. Pick yourself up, put yourself out there again. So I tried again in a different way and boom, it worked.
Yeah.
So even if that first launch is not as successful as you want it to be, that also doesn't define you as someone who can't create courses. We've got to just learn from our mistakes and put ourselves back out there. I wouldn't have $80 million track record today if I didn't say, let me try that again, but I'm going to tweak it and make it better.
Yeah, I love that. And I always say that every athlete out there became the best by running the reps. They didn't give up, right? And they wouldn't be where they are today if they gave up somewhere along the way. And I mean, I never say like, what is the worst thing that can happen? Because I love feeding the outcome. So I always say, what is the best thing that can happen?
Ooh,
and
I
feed that,
love
right?
that.
And that is a totally different mindset when it comes to, otherwise we make a problem that doesn't even exist, because that we are really good at making a problem.
Yes. What's the best that could happen? I'm going to start using that.
So one thing that I have thought about when it comes to my clients, that one thing that usually gets stuck is actually the first part, niching down, because they are in 6-month programs and they are still exit the program, still niching down. What do you see kind of, so it always prevents them from moving forward? And so I got this question a couple of times. What process did you go through in the early kind of beginning to kind of niche down and find what am I good at? What am I going to do?
So niching down and finding your thing, it takes time and actually experimentation. So for example, when I was first starting out, I created a course on Facebook marketing. Anybody who wanted to learn Facebook marketing, I was your girl. And then people got into my course, and some people started asking me questions such as, Amy, I have a physical product. I sell skincare. How do I get more people into my brick and mortar location? And I thought, I don't do that. I've never had a brick and mortar location. I want to help people who want to create information products online. So then I started to niche down and say, my course is for people that are creating courses, memberships, masterminds, digital offers online. That's how I will help you build your Facebook marketing around that. So now more and more people knew what I was about, and I started to attract the right audience, and I felt good about supporting those that I was attracting. But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't put myself out there.
Yeah.
So really niching down is a process of putting yourself out there, selling your goods, seeing how people respond, what feels good to you, what you like, what you don't like, and then continuing to niche down to a point that you've nailed it. It does not happen overnight, and you can't think it, you have to do it. Once you put yourself out there, you will get clarity. Action creates clarity. You'll get clarity through the process, and you'll find your perfect niche down.
Yeah, and we can't kind of create something in a vacuum, right? It's going to be really
Exactly.
hard. We need to
Yes.
go out there to the people that we want to serve and create it together. So I love that imperfect action, right? Imperfect action.
Absolutely. One of the things that I learned from working with Tony Robbins is that in business building and entrepreneurship, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable on a very regular basis. I'm 14 years in, and I still have very uncomfortable days figuring things out, trying new things, experimenting, making hard decisions. So you have to ask yourself, how willing am I to get uncomfortable? And how often do I feel uncomfortable doing new things, experimenting, making the hard decisions? If you feel comfortable, you have to be really honest with yourself. If you feel comfortable pretty much on a regular basis, you've got to do something about that because you're not pushing yourself enough and experimenting enough to grow that business.
I love that. And we need to commit to the journey. And as you started this podcast, it's a bumpy road, and we need to be committed to the end result that we want, right? Because it's
Yes,
not going to be like a nice ride, right? Because it's going to
that's for
be
sure.
bumps in the way. So
Yeah.
when it comes to digital courses or course creation, kind of program creation, what are the biggest reasons why people kind of are not successful? Do you have
Mm.
some intake on that?
Yes, I do. So, a few reasons why people who have created courses and launched them and haven't been successful. Number one is they don't have an audience. So, when I created Digital Course Academy, which is my big program I launch every year about courses, I've added how to grow an audience because it is a very normal thing to not have an email list, not have an audience. It's just something that people really struggle with. And
Yeah.
so I believe that you could grow your audience while you create your digital course. And then here's the secret most people don't tell you. When you launch a digital course over and over again, let's say every other quarter, or you put it on automation, you are growing your list every time you launch. The reason I have a big thriving email list is I launch a lot. And so I do webinars and people sign up for the webinars and they might not buy my course this year, but next year when they follow me for a full year, they're more likely to buy. And so every year my launches get bigger and bigger because I foster an email list. So not starting your audience, not growing an email list. I could tell you story after story of my students who have small email list and still do really well. One of my students, his list was 100 people. He launched his very first digital course and made $12,000. So
Oh,
you
wow.
don't need a huge email list, but you need an audience for sure, both social and email. And so that's why I incorporated it when I teach people how to create courses. Another mistake that a lot of people make is they feel like they need to add everything in the kitchen sink into their first course. So there's three different types of courses you can create. A starter course, which is like a one-on-one basic jumping off point for your students, just getting them started, getting that momentum. So a starter course, you could usually charge anywhere from $100 to $200. The second type of course you can create is a spotlight course. This is where you're going to take one area of your expertise and you're going to go deep. So that student of mine who made $12,000, his first course was, he's a photographer and he taught how to make flash photography look like natural light. Very specific, spotlight course, one area of expertise. But because it's so specific, it gets big results, you can charge more, anywhere from $200 to $500 for a spotlight course. And then the third type of course is a signature course. This is the Mac Daddy of all courses. This is where you're going to promise a big transformation from start to finish. And so because you're promising a big transformation, you get to charge more. And usually it takes people longer to get through the course. So you price this anywhere from $500 to $3,000. And so when you figure out what type of course you want to create, that gets you going. And a lot of my students, the big mistake they make is they think they need to go for the big course
Yeah.
first, but then they feel overwhelmed. Some of my students do great with that being their first course. But what I recommend to my first time course creators, let's create a starter course or a spotlight course. Then you'll get your next big idea for something bigger.
That is great advice. And now when we actually talk about a little bit about money, because
Yes.
at the end of the day, we want to make more money that is the byproduct of helping more people, right? So if we look at the revenue from a digital course, what is actually possible? Can you kind of share your expertise that can everything actually be turned into something that is profitable and can we make a lot of money out of it?
Well, when you're thinking about course math, the first thing you want to think about is this type of course you want to create. So let's say you think, I'm going to create a spotlight course. I've got this one area of expertise I want to go deep on. So I'm going to create a spotlight course and I'm going to charge $500. Okay, great. So we're going to pause there and back up a little bit. And what I asked my students to do is I have them come up with a goal for their very first course launch. How much money do you want to make? And we usually do a good, great, and a oh my gosh, scary goal. So we do 3 different goals. So let's say the good goal, like I'd be happy, I want more, but I'd be happy and proud of my first launch if I made $10,000. $10,000 is a lot of money. And typically the way I teach it is you're only going to promote it for about 10 days. So there's some urgency there. So for 10 days, you're promoting this course. At the end of 10 days, your goal is to at least make $10,000. Your course is $500. That means only 20 people need to raise their hand and say, I want that. 20 people out of all the people you know, your audience, your social, your email, 20 people need to say, I want that. And if you do things, this is something I teach in my course. If you do payment plans, if you do a money back guarantee, if you do some bonuses, it's easier to sell your course. These are all the nuances that I teach based on my own experience. And so 20 people is very, very doable. If you want to double that, you're going for 40 people, you get $20,000. That's a lot of money. And what I teach is getting better with each launch, growing your email list and growing your revenue. So that's kind of how you're going to break down how much money you want to make for your course launch.
So thank you for that, because at the end of the day, a lot of people think about can I make money out of only a small digital course, because they see all these trends online with high ticket offers and all these kind of things going on, right? So they get kind of scared. So thank you so much for that. And you have been creating courses now for about 14 years, right? Do you believe that digital courses are staying strong, or have you seen a decline? You talked a little bit about it earlier, but if we look now towards 2024, how do you see the trends go when it comes to digital courses?
Based on my own experience, absolutely, I can see that they're only continuing to grow. But research shows, so we've done a lot of data analysis and research, it is growing and growing to billions and billions of dollars. Not only the money that people will spend on digital courses is in the billions and only growing, but the number of users are also growing, which makes sense if the revenue is growing. We are only seeing an increase. And I'm actually surprised by that, because I saw this trend happen in 2020 where I said like that was the best year for course creators because a lot of people were stuck at home and they were more willing to try e-learning. But I was afraid that maybe in 2021, 2022, we'd see a decline. We've only seen it continuing to grow. And I think it's because more people are now introduced to the concept and they love it. Wait, I don't have to leave my house to learn that. I don't have to go to a college course. I could learn it here. That's a big deal to be able to learn in the comfort of your own home. And so we've only seen an increase, and I continue to see that. And AI used as a course creator assistant is going to fast track for
Yeah.
people to get their courses out there in a better way. So I only see that growth continue.
Thank you so much. It's really inspired. And I think that the audience I feel really inspired, but also confident.
Yes.
A lot of people are kind of scared of the AI and all those kind of things that is going on. But I think after this, they feel really confident that a digital course could be a great way to either start your business, your online journey, or create another way of serving your audience on a different kind of level, right? So
Yes.
thank you so much. And I wanted to kind of wrap this up because you have something amazing coming up, right?
I
Because you
do.
have the Course Confident Bootcamp coming up here. So I was wondering if you can kind of share a little bit of around that. What are you going to do through the bootcamp, and what do the audience leave knowing?
So once a year, I do a live virtual boot camp where I invite my community to come into a private Facebook group with me, and I do live trainings to kickstart your digital course journey. From coming up with a topic that will be profitable for you and fit into your business, to figuring out how to validate that idea, to figuring out what type of course you want to create, how much to charge, how to use AI to get started, and so much more. The trainings are live and recorded if you can't make it, but there's also a beautiful community of people that are going to be there to answer your questions and troubleshoot with you and really help you decide, is this something I want to do? It's one of the cheapest things I offer all year. It's just 47 bucks. And for $47, you will get a wealth of knowledge to get started with your first or next digital course. And so I'm really excited about it. We've added a lot of new bells and whistles and prizes and fun. It will go by really quickly, so you don't want to miss it. And doors open on September 13th. That's the last time you can get into the boot camp. So definitely don't wait. But I'm really excited of what we're adding this year.
Amazing. I'm really excited as well. It's going to be awesome. So I want to invite everyone that is watching this to join Amy inside the Course Confidence Bootcamp by signing up on angelasandas.com/bootcamp. And I'm going to throw in a couple of bonuses for anyone that joins me
Nice.
inside Amy's bootcamp. So I have actually created a small community that only the people that join me inside of the bootcamp are going to hang out, where I am going to be there to support you. We're going to run some trainings, and we're going to run Q&A sessions around especially sales and sales with virtual events, which is my expertise, the launching on its own, but also to be there to support you throughout Amy's boot camp. And you will also get our guide, 50 ways of promote your course, upcoming course launch, if you join on the link. So make sure you click angelasandas.com/bootcamp now, okay? So thank you so much, Amy. It has been a pleasure to have you and to kind of dig deep into your years of knowledge. Do you have anything that you kind of want to close up with for anyone that is on the fence of joining the bootcamp, or on the fence, can I create a digital course or not?
I think this is a great opportunity to explore. If you've ever been curious, will this work for me? How might this work? Could I pull this off? Come into my bootcamp. I'm going to share so many personal and student stories that you'll see yourself in and realize, wait a second, there's an opportunity here. I can run with this. If you're looking for more confidence, if you're looking for accountability, if you want someone to guide you, this is the opportunity. And for 47 bucks, you cannot lose. So I really hope to see you all inside the bootcamp. I love the bonuses you're offering, especially because you'll have a special small community where
Yeah,
people get extra attention, even better. So between your bonuses and my bootcamp, it's going to be a great experience.
it's set up to be a success, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much. So everyone that is watching, click and join, and don't forget to claim it, embrace it, own it, and see it through. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
Bye.